Welcome to class, everyone. I'm your host, and today I'll be stepping into the role of your professor. We're going to examine one of the absolute greatest intellectual shifts in modern philosophy. In this explainer, we're diving deep into the fundamental nature of reality itself. And we're going to do that by tracing the brilliant, frankly restless, philosophical journey of Bertrand Russell. Grab a seat, let's get started. Okay, I want you to consider a classic thought experiment for a second. If you close your eyes right now, does the physical world around you actually cease to exist? Or does the universe just march on, completely independent of your perception? You know, that single question forms the massive, essential dividing line between two completely different metaphysical camps, idealism and realism. Here is our syllabus for today's explainer. We'll be covering 1. The nature of reality, 2. The idealist orthodoxy, 3. Russell's realist rebellion, 4. Plurality versus the one, 5. The architecture of realism, and finally 6. The ultimate metaphysical question.
Section 1. The nature of reality, setting the metaphysical stage. Now, for late 19th century thinkers, the universe definitely wasn't just some collection of cold, hard atoms. Thinkers like Immanuel Kant and Hegel had cast this massive, long shadow over everything. British idealists widely agreed that ultimate reality is actually immaterial. To them, matter is merely derivative. It's only real conditionally because it's shaped by the very categories our human minds impose upon it. Mind-blowing, right?
Section 2. The idealist orthodoxy, the reigning worldview of the 1890s.
To truly appreciate the sheer force of Bertrand Russell's eventual rebellion, we have to understand the rigid academic establishment he was facing at Cambridge. Thinkers like F.H. Bradley were pushing this fascinating doctrine of internal relations. He argued that every relationship a thing has is actually internal to its very nature. So, because absolutely everything is defined by its relationship to everything else, no single object truly exists on its own. For these guys, only the entire interconnected one, which they often called the absolute, is truly real. It's like the ultimate cosmic soup.
Section 3. Russell's realist rebellion, breaking away from the mind.
So Russell and his colleague G.E. Moore decided they had absolutely had enough of this monistic, mind-dependent universe. Breaking violently from their mentors, Russell completely championed realism. He put his foot down and posited that the physical world, alongside abstract truths, exists entirely on its own. The universe is out there, it's distinct, it's solid, and it's utterly indifferent to whether a human mind is around to perceive it or not. This was a total, absolute rejection of the idealist claim that reality requires consciousness.
But, Russell didn't just wake up as a realist one random Tuesday morning. As we track his intellectual evolution, we can actually see him systematically strip away those idealist assumptions, literally decade by decade. He moved from his early neo-Hegelian days, pushed through an extreme Platonist realism phase, then to logical realism, and eventually landed on logical atomism. It's a real philosophical journey. During that early Platonist realism phase, roughly between 1901 and 1904, Russell swung to the extreme opposite of idealism. He swung hard. He argued that absolutely anything you could possibly think of, a man, a specific moment in time, a number, even a mythical chimera, actually possesses an independent being in reality. His logic was, if you can think it, well, it subsists in some objective realm out there.
Section 4. Plurality versus the one. How things connect.
So, how exactly did he dismantle the rigid idealist establishment? Well, the main battleground here became monism versus pluralism. Remember Bradley's idealist monism, the idea that everything is just one interconnected whole? Russell totally flipped the script, arguing for realist pluralism. He insisted that relations between objects are strictly external, meaning my desk exists perfectly fine regardless of whether it happens to be to the left or right of my bookcase. By doing this, Russell literally shattered the one into a radical plurality of many, many independent entities.
He also fiercely attacked the idea that mathematical truths somehow depend on human cognition. Russell just attested the notion that objective facts could be held hostage by human psychology. He entirely rejected Kant's implication that 2 + 2 = 4 only because our human brains happen to be wired that way. For Russell, no way. 2 + 2 = 4 even if there are absolutely zero intelligences left in the entire cosmos. It's just a raw, independent fact.
Section 5. The architecture of realism. Mental chemistry.
Now that Russell had successfully fractured the universe into all these independent pieces, he needed a brand new methodology to actually examine them. He wanted to treat philosophy with the exact same rigor as a hard science, so he employed this incredibly powerful concept of mental chemistry. Using sheer intellect, he would dissect complex ideas into simple, completely irreducible entities, basically the atoms of experience, like raw sense data. He ruthlessly applied Occam's razor too, eliminating absolutely anything unnecessary and swapping out theoretical objects with logical constructions based purely on direct experience.
All of this intense analysis culminated in his famous philosophy of logical atomism. By utilizing this rigorous analytical procedure, Russell firmly believed we could strip away the messy, frankly misleading nature of everyday human language. The idea was if you translate an observation into a logically perfect language, you can finally reveal the actual, objective atomic facts that are constructing the real world around us. It's like finding the universe's source code.
Section 6. The ultimate metaphysical question. What is matter?
As we reach the final stage of our masterclass explainer today, we really have to turn Russell's analytical lens onto the physical world itself. What's amazing is how Russell's own thoughts on this beautifully evolved over time. See, initially, he held on to indirect realism. That's the idea that we never actually experience physical matter directly, only our own private sense data like colors or smells, leaving us to basically just guess or infer that the physical object is there. But by 1919, he shifted gears and adopted neutral monism. He concluded that mind and matter aren't actually different substances at all. They are literally just different arrangements of the exact same neutral stuff, meaning the whole distinction between the mental and the physical, it's ultimately just an illusion.
As our class wraps up, I want to leave you with an ultimate metaphysical cliffhanger to really ponder. If everything you know is just data in your perception, if even your mind and the material world are just built out of the exact same neutral events, then what is the true nature of the reality you are standing in right now? Think about it. Thank you so much for attending today's explainer. Keep questioning everything around you, and class is dismissed.